Hello, my name is Giles Bunch. I'm a researcher on the Ethno-ISS project here at University College London. As part of my involvement in Ethno-ISS, I did fieldwork at two spaceflight centres in Germany, at the European Astronaut Centre and at the Columbus Control Centre. During my research, I was interested in looking at the ways that value is produced, how different forms of work and labour are understood as being value producing and how they're seen as being important. I did this research by following the training that flight controllers go through as they're trained to support the International Space Station from control rooms on the ground. So I followed the training at the European Astronaut Centre. I observed simulations. I spent a lot of time with instructors and I learned about what work instructors do and also how instructors design their training to begin with. So not only did I see look at the training of the flight controllers, but I tried to learn the philosophy behind the systems of how training is constructed in the first case. So it turned into an organisational ethnography, kind of a study of an organisation that not only takes into account training and how people are brought into an organisation, but also how structures and different forms of labour are configured. So the research really turned into an organisational ethnography, a study of the kind of whole organisation. So not only does it look at how they kind of become experienced, as it were, but also the structures that define their work and the structures that people produce and how those different things work together with each other. So one of the major findings from the research is that often, and this happens I think quite a lot in human spaceflight, there's a great deal of work and labour that goes into producing human spaceflight, of getting astronauts ready for flight on the International Space Station, preparing the missions, setting up the science, training flight controllers. A lot of that work is often not really fully understood in terms of what actually goes into it. So something that I learnt when I was following the training is on one level it can appear as very systems-led, it's very governed by sort of quite a strict empiricism, but it's also highly creative. So something I found out is that creativity and often forms of games and play, they're often not recognised as a part of the training, but they form this important component. The way that the training appears as very systematic and very systems-led is often quite deceiving in terms of the actual creativity and imaginative labour that goes into producing those systems to begin with, and what goes into producing that training to begin with. And I think that's a major thing that is often overlooked in more commonplace depictions of human spaceflight. It's seen as very techno-scientific, technocratic, bureaucratic. And in a lot of ways it is, but in a lot of ways it's deeply creative, imaginative work that has to produce that. So that's my major finding from the research. Thank you.